So that's boxing at its finest right there. You heard it. They said it. Make that bet. Everything on the line.
Gervonta is an animal for real. Jake is too domestic. Here's the thing, Mike Tyson's an animal too. He was just 60. He was just 60, but he messed around and he got a prime.
Gervonta Davis is training harder than ever for his upcoming fight with Jake Paul. His workouts are intense with constant sparring, fast pad sessions, and tough conditioning. Surrounded by top trainers, Tank's focus and determination make it clear he's ready to show that real boxing skill can overpower celebrity fame. Showbiz the Adult says Jake Paul may have made the biggest mistake of his career by challenging Gervonta Davis, a fighter who's in his prime and more dangerous than ever. He points out that Tank has already proven he can take down taller and stronger opponents like Ryan Garcia and Mario Barrios, showing not just power but great skill and adaptability. Showbiz explains that Jake might think he's repeating the same strategy that worked against older fighters like Nate Diaz or when he called out Mike Tyson, but this time it's completely different. Tank isn't an aging legend chasing money, he's a top active world champion with speed, accuracy, and knockout power. According to Showbiz, Jake has walked into a fight that could expose the huge gap between an entertainer still learning boxing and a true master at his best.
Emotionally, see if he's rattled. See, when it's all said and done, the whole talking shit goes out the window. Jake's scared. And let me tell you this too. I looked at I'm sizing them up. I'm looking at Tank and Jake, and I'm looking at them. Tank can reach him too. He reached Ryan Garcia. He reached Mario Barrios. I was like, he ain't gonna be able to reach him. He's gonna reach him, I saw it. I saw Tank's gonna reach him. He knows he's gonna reach him. Listen, I wanna say this too. Funny as hell. Before I say all this, Alicia Baumgardner, shout out to you, girl. I couldn't believe, out of all the women to be the first one to do 3 minute, 12 rounds, it's Alicia Baumgardner. Not really known for having great endurance, great stamina, and she's doing this shit. Shout out to Alicia Baumgardner. Because, what's her name, Layla? I don't really know her like that. But she looks like she ain't rattled by Alicia, so that's a perfect dance partner for that. Try to drag Alicia Baumgardner into lake water, see what's going on with that. Shout out to Alicia Baumgardner. But let's get back to Tank. First of all, Tank knows what he's doing. Tank Davis, he said, he was just making all these implications that it's going to be scripted. When he said, you're paying me, and then he was like, yo, you're going to have to give me extra, and then he said that this is scripted.
At the end of the day, I gave this little guy an opportunity. He should be thanking me. I'm paying him. I'm his boss. He reports to me, and I'm going to fucking son him on November 14th. So fuck you, little man.
You paying me? Are you paying me?
Yeah.
100%? 100%. Facts?
Correct.
Yes? Correct?
Correct. I'm your daddy.
40. What 40 at?
Some boxing analysts think Gervonta Davis might be taking on more than he can handle this time. They warn that Jake Paul's size and natural strength could play a big role once the two face off in the ring. While Tank's speed, timing, and knockout power rule the smaller divisions, moving up to face a heavier fighter could push his limits. Experts note that weight classes exist for a reason, to keep fights fair, and crossing them can be dangerous. Even with Tank's top-level skill and fierce mindset, taking on Jake Paul, a naturally bigger and stronger opponent, brings a new kind of risk that shouldn't be ignored.
We want to know, who will win in this fight? Jake Paul or Tank Davis? It's a legit question. And I actually want to really hear your thoughts on who do you think is going to win. Because I know what Vegas is saying, but I want to know what you think.
Personally, I think Tank too little, bro.
Yo,
I think Tank too little.
I'm so glad you have a brain on your fucking shoulder.
I think Tank too little.
I said, bro.
I think Tank's too little. That's what I'm saying. That weight class is for a reason.
Davis
that weight class is for a reason.
5'5", 135 pounds. Jake Paul is 6 feet, 205 pounds.
That's what I'm saying.
Bro.
He's too
6'1",
little.
205. Everybody's like, yeah, bro, but Tank it only takes one good punch. Yes, it takes one good punch when you're about the same size. There's a 60, 70 pound difference in weight in these people. I don't think nobody puts the physics in mind. Jake Paul gets punched in the face by dudes 200 pounds with all their might on a weekly basis. A 135 pound puncher, bro. If y'all remember the Mayweather versus Conor McGregor fight, Conor walks around like 180 on the regular. He's like 5'9", 180. Mayweather's like 5'7", 145. That 30 pound difference, bro. If you remember that fight, Mayweather was putting mittens on Conor. Guess what happened to Conor? He didn't hit the ground once.
No.
He lasted all 12 rounds getting hit with flurries. I'm talking about Mayweather was having his time. He's being cocky with it, hitting him with all kind of combos. And we're watching the last 3 rounds of that shit like, yo, knock him out. And you know what? he could not knock him out because Conor gets punched by people that are 170, 180 pounds on a regular. And just that 20, 30 pound difference, it was like impossible for him to do anything. And that's exactly what
Everyone who saw Gervonta Davis at the press conference noticed how calm, confident, and focused he was. Unlike Jake Paul, who feeds off drama and attention, Tank stayed composed, showing the mindset of a fighter who knows what really matters. His confidence wasn't loud, it was steady and controlled, built from years at the top of the sport. For Gervonta, this fight isn't about fame or social media, it's about proving that skill, patience, and ring intelligence still define real boxing greatness. Every word and look from him showed purpose. While Jake tried to entertain, Tank showed discipline and drive. His calm presence reminded everyone that true champions don't need chaos to stand out, they rely on preparation, precision, and belief. The press conference made it clear Tank Davis came to fight, not to perform.
In the press conference, and you can tell, you can just look at him and tell, like, no, this dude he's going to get this money for sure, because there's so much money out there to be had. But Jake Paul better be not playing around, man. Not get cute, not play any games. Don't hit him in the back of the head. Don't rabbit punch him. Don't do any of that stuff, man, because Mike Tyson, first of all, Mike Tyson, a lot of people think Mike Tyson was pulling punches on Jake Paul, and a lot of people think that Anderson Silva was pulling punches on him too. You're not going to have a little Gervonta out there pulling punches on you, man, if you're out there playing games. So, I don't like the fight at all. However, as far as it being an entertaining situation, I almost guarantee you that fight itself is going to be entertaining. That it's going to be something that you look at and you're going to say, man, everybody's going to watch it. Everybody's going to want to know what happens in it. But at the same time, it's kind of like what people think, when you see a car crash, like you're driving down the road and all of a sudden the traffic gets heavy and you're like, man, I'm going to be in traffic for a long time. And then you drive forward a little bit and then you see, oh man, this is some accident on the other side of the road and everybody just slowing down to watch. That's the type of entertainment that you can expect from this fight between Gervonta Davis and Jake Paul. There's going to be a lot of people watching it, but I gotta say, man, you really can't blame the guy on what he's doing. And there's a lot of criticism flying on Gervonta Davis. It's not Gervonta Davis's fault that boxing took this turn. This turn of these exhibition fights and people not caring about the belt and all of that stuff came with Floyd Mayweather.
Teddy Atlas, a well-known boxing analyst, compares Jake Paul's upcoming fight with Gervonta Davis to the earlier exhibition between Logan Paul and Floyd Mayweather. He says that while Jake may have the edge in size and reach, experience will be the real deciding factor. Atlas points out that Davis has spent years perfecting his skills at the highest level, gaining instincts and composure that can't be taught. Unlike Logan, who played it safe against Mayweather, Jake will face a non-stop fighter who knows how to take advantage of every mistake. According to Atlas, Tank's timing and ring intelligence will completely shut down Jake's power and physical strength.
Want this, or I like this when I heard it? No, I didn't like it, to be honest, for the optics and everything else I just said. But you do have one guy who, yeah, he's smaller, but he's a top fighter, he can punch. And he's fighting a guy who's not a top pro fighter, who's bigger. What if he hits him on the chin? What if he hits him on the chin? It'll wind up selling. And that's what'll wind up selling it. The what if. What if Tank makes him do a cha-cha? He hits him on the chin, and Jake Paul, we're going to find out if he can dance. Whoa, 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 whoa. Do the cha-cha. That's what's going to sell it. And you can't argue that what if. You can't. I know I get to places that other people won't go and everything else, that just dismiss stuff because it's easier to do that. It's safer to do that. You don't have to bows and arrows coming at you from people that argue with you because you did that. But I don't care. I've had bows and arrows my whole life. I don't care. But that's true. That what if. What if this guy, who is a real good puncher, who is one of the best fighters in the world right now, what if he hits him? What if he makes a miss and he counters him? Or he jumps up in the air. Bang! And he hits him. Sid Terrace was a great fighter. No, not the 1700s, but years ago. And Cus D'Amato told me he loves Sid Terrace. He said, Teddy, he used to jump up in the air and hit you with 3 jabs. I said, whoa, man, Sid Terrace. All right. Anyway, look, I can't finish without saying that it did invoke some memories and thoughts that we've been here before in a different way, where Jake Paul's...
Analyst Luke Thomas offered an insightful view of Gervonta Davis as he gets ready to face Jake Paul. He praised Tank's powerful knockouts and sharp finishing ability, but also noticed a change in his attitude. This time Davis seemed calmer, quieter, and more thoughtful, not out of fear but from a mature understanding of how important this fight is. Thomas said this new mindset shows a fighter who knows the match is about more than money or fame. It's about protecting his legacy, standing for real boxing, and pushing back against the rise of celebrity fighters. He explained that such mental changes often come when athletes realize they're part of something bigger than just one fight. The challenge isn't only physical but also mental, testing focus, patience, and emotional control. For Davis, this calm focus could either be his biggest advantage or his hardest test. If he uses it well, it could make his timing and accuracy even sharper, but if not, the pressure might slow him down. Either way, Thomas believes this mental growth shows a deeper side of Gervonta Davis, a fighter determined to prove that real skill and discipline still beat fame and size.
It's not different in the sense of a boxer in his prime or relative prime straying off the path, but this one is not. It's not like someone else, in a similar weight. It's like completely the opposite, and so that makes it, I think, look and feel weird. And then on top of it, obviously, Gervonta's got other business to handle. He looked to me, Gervonta, absolutely, completely disinterested. Even at the beginning of this year, and dude, even at the pre-fight Lamont Roach stuff, Tank was talking about how much time he has left in boxing, and he was sort of wasn't much. The Lamont Roach fight, it blew up in his face, but Lamont Roach was cherry picked. I think Tank thought, I'll just fight another guy from, the mid-Atlantic area who's, remember Roach came up from 30 to 35 to fight him, and Tank thought he was just going to cruise, and then it blew up in his face, and you're left with that. So you're making a point about he's got this obligation. That's true, but he was already fucking around. He was already taking opponents that, again, I think Roach showed everyone that was a mistake, but put yourself in Tank's mind. Tank was taking a fight against someone he was clearly, in his mind anyway, better than, and was just going to cruise. So he was already in that state. Then you marry that with statements like, I don't know how much longer I'm going to be doing this, and blah, blah, blah. And, I'm worried about going to therapy because it'll take away my competitive edge. And, kind of teetering on the edge a little bit about whether or not this is a thing he wants to do. Then
the rising tension between Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis perfectly shows how this fight mixes entertainment with real competition. Their intense face-off wasn't just about aggression, it reflected the story behind the entire event. On one side is Jake Paul, a larger-than-life internet star turned boxer who builds his image through strength, confidence, and media spotlight. On the other is Gervonta Davis, a proven world champion known for his precision timing and top-level ring intelligence. Fans are drawn to this matchup because it raises an old question: can size and power beat skill and experience? This fight is about more than pride. It shows how boxing is changing as showmanship and true athletic talent collide. Jake represents the modern entertainment side of boxing, while Tank stands for the sport's pure discipline and tradition. Their showdown isn't just about who wins, it's about proving which world truly owns the ring. As fight night approaches, the excitement grows, not only for the action inside the ring but for what this battle will say about boxing's future in a time driven by fame, money, and ambition.
Left hand, because he's 5-0. He could roll under that left hand, and here comes the brick hand over the top. If he lands something like that in 10 ounces, I'm going to tell you this. Jake's 200 and something pounds. That's still going to hurt at the very least, and who knows what, because Tank's got ridiculous power. So Jake, a little sloppy on the push there. He got pushed. He wanted to get it back. There's something to be taken away from that, but lines up perfectly for a counter left hand. And you even see his promoter here is kind of grabbing his left hand because Tank wanted to let it fly. And Jake backed up a little bit. He said, and Tank comes with that. Tank, man. Tank said, where I'm from, the bullies get bullied. All right, dude, there you go. Listen, takeaways from this thing, I don't know. Tank seemed to have a little bit more energy today. He seemed to be more lively. Him going back and forth with the media, with Jay Leon, with Jake, with Aiden Ross. There seemed to be a bit more energy today. That's all I really asked for. So in terms of, selling us on something, sure. Better job today from both guys. Jake, seemed a bit more locked in here with Tank as well. They had a little bit more fun. Tank going after Nikisa was pretty funny. But listen, this doesn't change anything in my mind. The 10-ounce gloves doesn't really change anything to me. I mean, again, I think that's a bad idea for Tank, more so because even if Jake doesn't land clean, those are 10-ounce gloves. It's still going to hurt. Tank is still punching in gloves that are 2 ounces heavier than he normally uses, so I don't know how that's a win for him. The $2 million bet almost certainly won't happen, which I didn't think would in the first place, but Tank pretty much confirmed it. And we're all left with the same kind of idea that we thought about this to begin with. This is an entertainment exhibition that we know is going to draw a ton of eyeballs. I'm going to watch, and there's going to be great high-level competition boxing on the underneath card. And even in the main event, if something is to happen, if someone is to get knocked out, it will go mega viral, and both these guys are going to make a shit ton.
Promoter Nakisa Bidarian added more excitement to the fight by sharing details about the official rules. He confirmed that both Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis will fight with 10-ounce gloves, a decision that immediately caught fans and analysts' attention. Usually heavier fighters wear bigger gloves to lessen the impact of punches, so this choice favors speed and accuracy over protection. With Jake's size advantage, the smaller gloves help even things out and make every exchange more dangerous. Bidarian's announcement shows how the fight has been carefully planned to keep a balance between entertainment and fairness, making sure both fighters take the same level of risk. It also builds even more anticipation since lighter gloves mean a faster, harder-hitting fight where every punch could change everything.
And 12-ounce gloves. And most of you guys know boxing, right? Most of the fights are with 10-ounce gloves. Fighters spar in 16-ounce gloves. 12-ounce and 10-ounce gives you a little bit more safety, which is the key here, given the size difference, but there's a massive experience difference. We will have 3 world-class judges ringside that the commission has approved to ensure there's a rendered decision for the fans. It will not go on their record, but there will be 3 experienced judges, some of the best in the business, giving their view of who won the fight.
So let me just follow up with this then. The Florida statute says that it means an exhibition means a boxing, kickboxing, or mixed martial arts.
You saw the exhibition of Floyd and Logan.
Okay.
So just go with that, and if they weren't trying to hit each other, then tell me they weren't trying to hit each other.
The upcoming showdown between Gervonta Davis and Jake Paul has taken over the boxing world, but once again Floyd Mayweather has managed to draw some of that attention back to himself. 4 years Floyd has mastered the skill of staying in the spotlight, appearing whenever the focus starts to move away, making sure no major event happens without his presence being felt. His latest move proves he still knows how to control the story even when he's not fighting. Meanwhile, with fans split between Jake's size and Tank's power, Gervonta stays locked in on his training. He's working hard, staying quiet, and preparing to show that real skill and discipline still lead the sport. In the end, people can talk and predict all they want, but Tank's performance in the ring will say more than any headline or hype surrounding this fight.
Fight like that as a pro fight, Shipman said. It'll be an exhibition fight, end quote. Similarly to the concerning location move, he states that the main reason for this is the significant weight disparity between the 2 opponents. An exhibition is defined by Florida statutes as a boxing, kickboxing, or mixed martial arts engagement in which persons participating show or display their skills without necessarily striving to win, using strikes, elbows, blah, blah, blah. So, the key word here is, key phrase, show or display their skills without necessarily striving to.
Alright everyone, stay tuned for the latest boxing news, highlights, events, and stories. Subscribe to Boxing Glory and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Don't forget to watch our other videos. Until next time, take care and stay safe.